every time without failure, I press the camera button, the take a picture button, and instead of pressing the record button, and every time I'm like, all right, let's do this for the first time. Let's do it. Let's just, even if this first one's bad, we'll knock it out of the way, and then we'll be good. And then I end up taking the picture myself. But welcome back to to Just Start. I'm Juan with Last Flip. Yeah. So first things first. I mean, I'm a week late on this video, but after thinking and like recording last video. Um, I thought that it'd be better to not do that, to not go with the one that I was going to do because it just was not good. Uh, I was gonna get, and in that whole episode, I went into like why I didn't have a guest, and it really sounded just like an L the entire thing. Like it just sucked. It was going, a lot going through my head, and I'm really about being authentic, but like to be real with you guys, like to be real with me, like there was no way I was gonna put that one out because it just the energy sucked in it. Everything about it sucked. I just wasn't proud of the energy, and definitely I got some feedback being like, yeah, this is not it. So it's good to hear that, to know that like to know that whenever I attempt to do something and it's not there, like I'm gonna hear that it's not there. So it's awesome. I'm really appreciative for that feedback. But so to make up for this. I really wanted to go into further detail about everything that I'm doing to actually build up this brand and what I'm working on and how I'm making this a viable way to live. So the first thing that I really had to do, because I think up until this point, it's been pretty non, a lot of vague ideas, a lot of like, a lot of talking about things that like sound nice, sound great, things that, if you were to ask anybody, like, things you want to hear for sure, but like I wanted to go more into the details of like things that are happening, things that I'm doing, things that I'm working on to get to a certain point, right? Um, I to do this, and this is kind of what I touched upon in the last, and like when I scrapped the last video as well. But I want to do it in a more succinct way, in a way that's not so much of like a sound like a defeat kind of thing. Because at the end of the day, this is still going. This is still very much a work in progress. But a lot of this needs to be better. Like a lot of this needs to be better. So to really break down what I have been doing, a lot of it's not readily apparent. So I had to really take some time to take inventory on like everything that I've been doing, what I was doing, what am I doing with my time. So to break it down a little bit, my weeks, I kind of look at my life right now like a series of weeks, and I take it a week at a time. Within that week, I need to get down a blog, just some thoughts. I need to get out now I'm incorporating this into this, uploading, recording, editing, and uploading a Just Start video. I need to make sure that I'm on track of my spending expenses and spending habits. About every 3 weeks, I'm trying to make sure that I see like people that I care about. Working two jobs currently, cooking to save money, eat better, and working out. That's what my life consists of right now. That's all that I'm doing. I don't really have time. I mean, I'll go see like a movie every now and then by myself just to, just go do things. But overall, like I'm pretty busy, and yeah, those are the things that I'm actively doing in my weeks. Things that I'm doing pretty passively. Things I'm not really necessarily intending to do. It's a lot of scrolling on my phone and a lot of just like kind of wasting time being um, anxious and nervous about things, I guess. For example, like right before I pressed record on this podcast. Well, before I press take picture first or whatever the equivalent is. Before I did that, I was kind of sitting here. I've been sitting for the past couple hours. I have to pack for my trip to DC. But I was sitting here and just being like super anxious about having to do this because this whole thing isn't really planned out. Um, but it needs to be, I needed to just start, right? And obviously last week was a good example of why I should just start because the whole thing was shit. The whole thing was not good. So um, I had to scrap it, and I knew that I had to scrap it. But had I not started, I would have known that this was not something that really was going to be good. So just started, and immediately feel better that I'm already just doing something. Going back to those things that I'm doing, I feel like it's kind of everywhere. There's a lot of things that I'm doing, and I don't really like have much of a social life um, outside of what I'm doing, and trying to make sure that this is something that's working. Um, One thing that remains, though, and this is something I've talked about with multiple people, is that the way that I'm doing it right now, is not a viable means to like make a living for myself or live the life that I really want to live. I'm still, like I said, working two jobs to kind of pay for things and kind of support myself financially. And ideally, the goal is to transition to a more livable means where I can like make a good living, so somewhere I'm not like I wouldn't say I'm scraping by right now, but I'm definitely um the money that I'm making right now is just going back into this. And that's not bad by any means. That's I really, really wouldn't have it any other way. And I've been able to kind of make things a little bit better for myself here. And I definitely made in the past year and a half, the growth has been crazy. Um, but it's still not, I'm closer, but I'm still not really there yet. And by there, I mean, I'm not fully on the path. Um, because I don't see like I don't see an endpoint on this destination. I'm just gonna keep going until it's over. I think it's kind of the goal. That is the goal. It's just to be on the path until I can't anymore. Um, but yeah, I'm not there yet. So you really gotta think. I really gotta think. What needs to change? What needs to change? I think now would be a good point to kind of go back to what I was talking about on my other one that I scrapped. And I think that there were some good things on there, but you know, it wasn't everything. Sure, I think there are two sides to this thing, right? I'm building up a studio, um, but what is a studio without like clients? What was a studio without clients? Um, uh, I really couldn't answer you. This is what a studio is without clients. To what you're seeing right now, a guy who puts out a blog out every week, and attempts to put out a video every week. And I say attempts to because, like I said, I kind of look at things like if I can do it for a month, then like it's a thing. Until then, and I was just 1 week short. Um, and if I would have done that last video, I guess technically by my standards it would have been up, but it would not have been up to my standards. Because like I said, I don't think it was good, but I need clients. Like I need people. I need to find people who will let me into their brand and represent it and represent it in a good way. So looking at the type of stuff that I'm putting out right now, a lot of it's personal, not a lot of it's professional. Um, so how could I make a living off of the personal stuff? Prints and like personal commissions. And I've done both of those, but I'm not seeing what I need to see for that really to be my path. And I think ideally somewhere in the back of that's still an option I really want to do. I really hope that people find my stuff like, at the least bit like intriguing and like would like to have it up on like their walls. That's a really cool thing. I've given people prints themselves, and it's cool whenever I go over there to be like, hey, that's something I did. That's cool. But in a different avenue, right? In a way that people can make a more sustainable living, a way that like, I can be able to like sink my roots down a little bit more. I needed like some more professional work. But I guess my problem here the problem I've been facing recently, and something I've been like trying to um, tell other people who are interested in my life, who are involved in my life, that there are a lot of different avenues to go down. Um, UX, UI, it's like user experience, user interface, designing that kind of thing. Graphic, just general graphic design, illustration, 3D modeling and animation, rec 2D animation, advertising, product design, and there are just a lot of different avenues to go down. So I've spent some time this past week and a half, well, I guess week since I realized the last one cannot go up, but I spent some time doing some research into all of these different aspects, and I think it's going to take some more time to look into this more because I there's so much that I need to do in terms of like trying this stuff to get a better feel for these things and see what fits my skill set and my interests more. But I spent some time looking at, um, I've been all over Twitter, I've been all over like Reddit, all over Behance, trying to find things that I can recreate, things that I can do to replicate and everything. And because one, I need a more professional portfolio for clients. And two, I think that learning the rules of the game is the best way to learn how to do your own thing. So like I said, I spend a lot of time looking at mockups, templates, anything I can really get my hands on. And I think like one of these is gonna like it's gonna play in the like the corners or something like that. But I spent some time doing that, and it took a lot of work. This is like you're seeing one of the examples of the time, like the one of the ones I recorded, where I was just making stuff. I'm gonna try to like also link these people who I was like looking at and replicating. Um, but yeah, I think on my website, I've already updated it to include the YouTube playlist for Just Start. But on my playlist on my website, there's going to be a portfolio section for more professional work, things that I'm like looking at doing, especially as those kind of interests kind of evolve and I learn more about what these things do. I plan to have it up by we are 22 May. Give me 2 weeks. There will be some things up there on my website to get these things done, where you can see these things that I'm working on, and I'll give you a better look at these things. But 2 weeks, 2 weeks. So that makes it June 5th. June 5th, it'll be up there, and you'll be able to see some more things that I'm doing, and this will be a better opportunity for me to express to prospective clients. Now I'm capable of doing this work, and yeah. So as of right now, there's a lot of different things I want to look at. I've been learning a lot about, you said, just general UX UI. There's a lot of cool stuff there. Um, I've been using Figma, trying to like map out tools and stuff, and just learning kind of what that's about because I feel like every time I'm on, you know, I'm online looking at people's work, a lot of Figma work, which is great for like prototyping and kind of creating mock templates and for like apps and websites. So yeah, that's kind of like the bulk of my time recently, trying to actually get prospective clients. What beyond that, once like that's up, once I have, I would say 3 to 4 strong pieces up on my website for like case studies of, ideally of mock-up companies, um, then I think that would be a good time to really go and get clients. To go out, cold approach and get shot down a few times before I end up getting my first one, and then after that, really just going out there and getting referrals for everything else. So in terms of like my professional thing, that's what kind of the main thing has been pushing. Something I'm really conscious of because uh, I need a different change of pace for different areas of my life, and currently it's just not happening. So this is something I need to do, and I'm really looking at it like a challenge for myself because I think I've been looking for a challenge for a little bit, but not realizing this thing's in front of me. And I've really got to take this thing by the horns because I've really given myself a deadline, a pretty tight deadline on this thing. Um, and it's like hard to remember that sometimes, but when I talk to people about what I'm doing and everything like that, it's kind of comes into the bulk of my mind of like this is something that needs to get done. So yeah, it's pretty crazy. Going on a different kind of side tangent here, thinking about what needs to get done. Uh, Talking to some coworkers at work today, and the conversation kind of shifted to be like, yo, if you had like 1 minute left to live, what would you reflect on? You know, what would you think? What could you say you've done with your life? And I think overall, in general, it's not, it wouldn't be so readily apparent, but I feel like I've grown a bit, but I'm still not overly impressed with where I'm at. And I think everywhere I've gotten to so far was just kind of the baseline expectation of myself, and it hasn't been anything I knew that I couldn't do. Um, but there's definitely more. There's definitely more in the tank, and you will be seeing more. You will be seeing more of me. Um, and I really hope in nothing but the best way. So, and my answer to that, whenever they were asking me what would you say you've done, I think the biggest thing is learn how to live a little bit. I think that I used to be very, um, like very insecure, very, not sure of myself, and those definitely have a role that plays in my life from time to time. I think I really moved away from it, and I think that there's still like a long way to go. And I don't think that's ever really going to truly escape from me. I think it's going to be something I'm going to deal with for the rest of my life, just like anybody else. It's kind of hard to remember that, other people are dealing with these things as well on a daily basis because, you're just doing your own thing, trying to keep one foot in front of the other, trying to stay the course and try not to deviate from that too far because if you don't do one thing, you'll do nothing, you know? It's so hard to do everything. Um, but yeah, recently it's been different. Recently it's been different. Recently I've been Um, I would say I've had about like a good 65% rate or more, like waking up in the morning before work to go work out with one of my coworkers and getting that done. It it will definitely be a higher percentage, but the main thing holding me back right now is not going to bed at a decent time. And by decent, I mean like before like 10:30, which it is right now. Um, so once I get that down, once I get that part down, it'll be I'll be knocking stuff out. But I've just been a night owl for so long. It's been incredibly difficult. But yeah, I've been doing that. It's been going fairly well. I feel a little more into my body, which is great. But on to more graphic design, on to more design stuff in general, because I've been really interested. There's been a lot of stuff I've been looking at. Um, and one thing I keep thinking about is like, there's only so much like looking you can do, but really. I want to play the game, so I gotta play the game. I gotta suck at it for a little bit. I think some things that I make are cool, but overall, it's not. I gotta suck at different things because the things that I'm working on right now, things that I'm getting better at, things that I'm sucking at, everything. My focus on my life is just been. It's not been in line with what I want to do. So, like I said, give me 2 weeks to really plan things out a little bit better with the next podcast guest. Which, as of right now, as of this moment, I have someone lined up to record on Monday, and hopefully that goes very well, and hopefully everything else. And I really hope to have this thing more on a roll and in a more consistent manner, in a way that I'm proud to present this thing and not so like sheepish about whether or not I should put it out. And hearing back to like it's probably not not the energy that, I really want to see looking back on this moment. Which is, like I said, not to be inauthentic, but at the same time, there needs to be a level of like confidence and a level of like um and a level of quality that I'm looking to put out, because I'm not looking to put out a bunch of like shit. Like it needs to be good. So yeah, yeah, I'm excited about that. I've been taking advice from people, listening about how to reach out to people, about how to make this thing a better thing. Everything all around, like I said, comes to, I've been putting more effort into my blogs. I've been putting more effort into um, the podcast now, and I really hope that it makes a difference and you can see that. And even more so, I hope that this is good for me, that my future me is able to see that this is a good turning point for um, this really taking off. That this is a moment where I'm really stepping into it instead of backing away from it. So yeah, I feel like I've been this one I've been looking at to kind of put things into a little bit more perspective. Uh, Over like in the deeper sense of time, what I'm really looking for this to be, go check out Mischief. Something like that looks really cool. Um, and Today in Design. Those two are, I mean, those are two very different things. Today in Design is kind of like a a, a blog. Okay, I'm running out of time. Uh, check them out. I love you guys, and I hope to see you guys next week with a new podcast, new guest. Have a great time. Take care of yourselves. All praise to the Most High as always, and pursuit over everything.